stop. Alright guys, so day 2 of owning Timmy's car, and Timmy, I asked him yesterday, what's the first thing you want to do? And he said, see if it'll get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to go pop the hood and look around in the engine. And Timmy's been around cars his whole life, but never really worked on them. So this is going to be his first time actually working on it. So I want to show him the basics of getting a car running. Alright guys, so here's the engine. It's a 292 we were told, so it's the Y block. So it's kind of new to me, but I'm going to show Timmy the basics. So the first thing we're going to do is check the oil to make sure that, you know, it has some. And so I'm going to have Timmy check the oil, which is right here, Tim. Oh, we need something to wipe it off. Keep pulling. Alright, so you gotta look at it. It says it's full, and it's actually pretty clean. So, oh, and this is nice and thick. So we'll put that back in. Now I'm gonna check it one more time. And yeah, it's full. I think it's a little over, but that'd be fine. So we know there's oil in it. And then if you wanted to check the transmission fluid, there's a dipstick in the back corner over here. That's where you would check that. But you usually check it while the car's running and in neutral. Now, the 3 things that your car needs to run is fuel, air, and spark. So first, I could see that off of the fuel pump, they have a hose running into the car, so I'm guessing they never ran it from the fuel tank. So I'm going to just clip these zip ties, pull this hose out, and I'll use that same hose for in a gas can. So another thing we got to check is if the engine will rotate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab and I'm going to try to twist on it, see if it rotates. If you want to reach down here on this part here and try to spin it and tell me if it spins. Alright, so here, I'll twist it and see if it moves any. Alright, so there was a little bit of movement, so we know that the engine is not seized. Now that we know that the engine is free, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the air cleaner, kind of look over the carburetor, make sure that everything is free on the carburetor because you don't want to have it seized. So I'm going to loosen these off and take the air cleaner off. And I don't know if this is the proper air cleaner for it, because I know mine and Eva's, Edsel's, their air cleaner both look the same. So I don't know if the 292 have a different style or not. So if anybody in the comments, know, please let me know, because we would like to make everything, well, Timmy, I asked him and he said he would like to make everything all original. So if this is original to it, then we'll obviously keep it, but we want to make sure that everything is original. So there's no air cleaner in here, so we'll just have it off. So as you see, it's a 2-barrel, and everything seems to work. Another thing we're going to have to check is the radiator. And the radiator does look a little rough on the exterior, but that doesn't mean that it won't be good. So I'm going to pop the cap, and we'll see. It sounded like there was pressure. So as you see, it's empty in there, so there's not really anything in there. It's kind of dry, and I saw acorns in there, so I'm going to try to take a shop vac to it, see if it could get out, or if anything, I'll just run a lot of water and hopefully the water, you know, could push it out, because I don't want any of that stuff getting in the engine. Alright, so I wrenched out all of the gunk and stuff that was in it, and so now I'm putting the bottom hose on, and then we're gonna fill it up with water right now because that's all I have right now. This car was actually kind of a surprise. As I told you before, I was actually helping a buddy's family move, and this couple came up asking me if I wanted another Edsel because I was driving my Edsel, and they gave us a sweet deal, and so we didn't really prepare anything for this, and like actually we would have yesterday been going to Woodward Avenue for the Dream Cruise, but this kind of, you know, took its place. Now that we got this hose back on, I'm gonna have Timmy put water in here, and then we're going to get a battery and check for spark. And usually you'd want to add antifreeze, that's like a coolant type stuff, but right now we're just going to do water. So now I'm going to get a battery. I'll use the key, see if it'll turn over with the key, and then if it turns over with the key, we'll check spark. Only downfall is the battery box does seem kind of small. I'll probably grab my truck battery, see if that will fit in, and if not, I guess we'll figure something out. So we're getting close. So what I did was I had to do this because Timmy's getting too eager. So instead of going out getting the right battery, truck battery didn't fit. So I put it here, got it bungeed here, made sure nothing's touching, and I got the negative on. And before I put the positive on, I wanted to let Timmy know that when you're putting a battery in a car and that's sat for a while, or just, you know, it's a fresh battery, when you plug it in, make sure to start like kind of sniffing around, see if you smell anything burning, kind of look around for smoke, because you don't want to plug it all in and all of a sudden your car engulfs into flames, you know. So I'm going to put this in, and we're going to have Timmy kind of sniff around and see if he could, you know, smell anything. Do you smell anything? Do you see anything?
No.
I don't smell anything. Everything seems fine.
And we might need to check that if it does run.
What? Oh, the okay. He's talking the transmission. If we get it running, we'll put it in neutral, make sure everything, you know, see if it has transmission fluid. But so right now, nothing seems to smoke. And again, guys, we will get the proper battery for it, the proper size. But Timmy wants to, I know he doesn't seem excited, but he's excited for it to run. He's been talking about this car all night, saying that he wants to hear it run. So I'm going to crank it a bit, see if we hear anything, because last night me and Nate, we were kind of going through the stuff in the back of the trunk, and we noticed a rocker arm, and we don't know if it was spare or what. We also noticed we had 2 extra carburetors, some stuff for the distributor, so there's a bunch of parts in the back that could kind of be concerning. So what we're going to do is I'm going to crank it a bit. We'll see if it cranks, and if it does crank, listen to it. So I have Mikey and Timmy here; they'll be listening to it, and so we'll have that going. And then before we go to put fuel into it, I'm going to show Timmy how he could check for spark. So right now I'm going to go in, crank it, and tell me if you see anything or hear anything. All right, are you ready, Tim?
Yeah.
I'm going to be cranking in 3, 2, 1. Do you hear anything funny?
No.
All right. So it did sound pretty smooth. It did sound, I don't know if it, it sounded pretty healthy with just the cranking. So now I'm going to show Timmy a way to check for spark. All right, so I took the first spark plug off, plug wire off of the first spark plug. I got this screwdriver here. It was a broken one, and I figured we could use it for this purpose here. So what we're going to do is you're going to hold it in here and kind of hold it and make sure you're not really touching anything. And you want to hold it as close as you can to the exhaust manifold and tell me if you see a spark. All right?
Okay.
And be careful, don't touch the metal because it will zap you. Try not to, make sure it's on, kind of hold it close. There you go. All right, so I'm going to do it. You ready?
Yeah.
Tell me if you see spark.
No, I don't see spark. Yep, I saw some.
All right, so there is spark. That's a good thing that there's spark, or you would have had to tick your tongue to the coil. Just kidding. That wouldn't be wise. So now I'm gonna get the gas can, put this hose in said gas can, and gonna crank for a little, and hopefully it will fire. So if it doesn't fire while this is in the gas can, that means that it's not picking up fuel from the fuel pump. But there was an old fuel pump in there, so hopefully this is a new fuel pump because it looks fairly new. So hopefully it works. So I'm gonna grab the gas can, and we'll go from there. All right, that should be good. So now, in theory, it has spark. It's now going to have fuel. It should run. So now, if the carburetor is good, it should run. If the fuel pump's good, it should run. So now it's time to turn the key. You know what? This isn't my car. You get the honors to turn the key. All right. Make sure it's in park. Oh, you gotta look for that. Yeah, it's in park. Alright, so keys right there. Just make sure to turn it. Alright, hold on. Turn. Alright, hold on. Turn. Alright, hold on. Alright guys, so I stopped him for a while because I didn't want him to keep cranking it and I forgot. So what I did was I primed it a bit, add a little fuel down the carb. So in theory, now it should fire up. So Timmy, go ahead. Alright, hold on. Alright, try again. Stop. Alright, go for it. Alright, stop. So it puttered a couple more times. So what I did is I primed it again, shoved it in the hose. So now Timmy's going to try it one more time. All right, go. Alright guys, so as you see, we got it running. I'm gonna go through the carburetor, maybe fine tune it, check out the fuel pump, figure out that. But it does run good. Didn't hear any pinging or anything. And again, if anybody didn't see the first video, this is Timmy's first car. It's a 59 Edsel Ranger. It's a post car, so it's a sedan. The windows were broken a week before I ended up running into the people, so that's why they sold it to us. We got a good deal on it, but so now it's Timmy's project car, and the first thing he wanted to do was hear it run, so he did. So maybe that gives him the spark to get going even more on it. So I want to thank you guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment. I hope you guys enjoyed your cruise down Delashment Road.